What if you discover the hidden qualities that women genuinely admire, traits that make financial wealth seem almost irrelevant? Have you ever looked at a man who doesn't flaunt his success, who drives a modest car and lives a simple life, yet he seems to have a magnetic pull on the women around him? In a world that shouts about materialism, why do some women feel a deeper, more powerful attraction to men who aren't defined by their bank accounts? The answer isn't what society tells you. It's ancient, and it's about character, not currency. In this video, we'll reveal 5 principles that women hold in higher regard than money, guided by the enduring philosophy of Marcus Aurelius. These are not pickup lines or manipulative strategies. They are pathways to becoming a better man. If you embrace them, they won't just alter your romantic prospects. They will fundamentally transform your core identity. So if you're ready to move beyond shallow attraction, if you're finished pursuing partners who only care about superficial status, then stay with me until the very end. This could redefine your entire approach to relationships. And if this is your first time here, please like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought. Join our community of men committed to grounded, principled growth. There's a tale of a centurion named Marcus. He wasn't born into privilege. He had no family name of note. Yet he possessed something that made women pause and take a second glance. Even a woman from an influential family found herself drawn to him, not for his social standing, but for something else entirely. A comrade once asked him, "What is your secret? What draws them in?" Marcus simply smiled and said, "I follow the path of the philosopher king." He spoke of Marcus Aurelius. You see, the emperor didn't just command an empire, he commanded his own nature. And in a chaotic world of empty distractions, that self-mastery was the ultimate source of allure. Let's uncover those eternal truths. Because while women might not voice it, these 5 things are what they quietly desire more than any material object. 1. Attentive presence over expensive presents. Can you recall a powerful romantic moment? Not about a fancy meal or a gift, but about a look that made you feel completely recognized. That instant when everything else faded away. It wasn't about cost. It was about authentic connection. What if I told you that this quality of deep attention is what women truly yearn for? Not just once, but consistently. Let me share a story. It's not about a celebrity. It's about a soldier named Marcus. He served in the legions. No great fortune, no high rank, just a mindful heart and observant eyes. After a day of drills, Marcus would sit with his partner beneath the cypress trees, his uniform worn from the field. She would speak of her hopes, sometimes of her anxieties. And as she talked, Marcus wouldn't jump in. He wouldn't look away. He would be completely there. No distractions, just a profound quality of attention, a scarce commodity. And here's the reality. In our modern age, that level of focus is almost extinct. Ask yourself truthfully, when did you last truly hear someone? Not to craft a response or solve a problem, but simply to understand? Women perceive intuitively. She can sense when you're next to her, but your thoughts are elsewhere. Planning, worrying, scrolling. And she begins to disconnect. Not from lack of affection, but from a lack of feeling truly perceived. You might think, I'll compensate with something expensive. But no object, no jewelry, no lavish evening can substitute for what she deeply wants. Your undivided, emotional presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, lock yourself into the current moment. Simple advice, yet we are often mental nomads, dwelling on yesterday, fretting about tomorrow, and overlooking the only time we ever have, the present. Marcus the soldier didn't have riches, but he had authority over the now. He didn't need the perfect line. He only needed to be fully engaged. And by doing so, he offered his partner what money could never buy, true rapport. So, let me ask you, have you ever experienced a moment where you felt totally comprehended? Not evaluated, not hurried, just secure. That feeling endures, doesn't it? Now, picture being a man who fosters that space for a woman. Not by pursuing her, not by dazzling her, but by pausing, silencing the noise, and deciding to be with her, not merely beside her. That's what women quietly adore. Because in an era where everyone performs, the man who is genuinely present becomes irreplaceable. So never discount the strength of being open and engaged. When a woman feels emotionally recognized, she bonds. And when she bonds, she develops deep feelings. Remember, presence isn't about extra effort. It's about deeper being. And the greatest part? It requires zero money. You only need to choose to be here. Still following? Good. Let's explore the second principle. What women secretly value is even more potent than attention. It's inner fortitude. And believe me, you need to understand this, because if where ordinary men stumble and a principled man prevails. 2. Steadiness over storm. Have you ever experienced a flicker of insecurity in a relationship? Perhaps she was late replying to a message. Maybe you noticed her enjoying a conversation with someone else. Or you felt that quiet dread in your stomach. What if her feelings have changed? You're in common company. Every man, including resilient ones, has faced that internal turbulence. But what separates a man of substance from an impulsive one is this. The steadfast man refuses to let that turmoil dictate his actions. Let's return to our Stoic centurion, Marcus. One evening, he came back from a difficult campaign. He saw his partner talking with a charismatic aristocrat. Their discussion seemed lively under the firelight. Another soldier nudged him and whispered, "Looks like you're being replaced, friend." Many men would have charged over, demanded an explanation, created conflict. But Marcus, he remained where he was, poised, composed. Later, his partner came to him and said, "You didn't intervene." You didn't seem upset. He met her gaze and answered, "I trust what is real doesn't require guarding. And if it is meant to depart, no grip can keep it." That isn't passivity. That is profound control. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Your mind is within your power, not external incidents." Understand this, and you discover resilience. That is inner fortitude. It doesn't mean you ignore your emotions. It means you govern them. You don't erupt from every feeling like a child. You answer with clarity like an adult. Women don't seek a flawless partner, but they absolutely need emotional security. Let's be direct. If you lose your temper whenever she has a different opinion, if you give her the silent treatment to make her feel guilty, if you plead or become desperate when she needs space, you become unreliable, unstable. And that makes her feel uncertain. Not threatened, but emotionally unanchored. And when a woman lacks the emotional safety, her affection withdraws. But when you maintain your composure, when you can be calm within chaos, she begins to rely on you at a soul level. And not just rely on you, she starts to respect you deeply. Let me pose a question. Have you ever sensed a contrast between lashing out from fear and answering from a place of strength? The difference is profound. So, the next time tension rises, when she challenges you, creates distance, or says something sharp, take a breath, wait, and ask yourself, what action aligns with my highest principles? The truth is, a woman who tests your emotional stability isn't trying to dismantle you. She is attempting to locate you. She needs to know, is this man centered enough to be my peaceful harbor in life's storms? And when you meet that challenge, when you select steadiness over storm, she doesn't merely remain. She entrusts you with her complete self. So embody that man. Not the most vocal, not the most volatile, but the most centered. And you'll learn that the deepest waters inspire the strongest devotion. Let's proceed to the third thing women secretly prize. It has zero to do with wit and everything to do with vision. Direction over distraction. And trust me, this one is critical. 3. Direction over distraction. Have you ever stared at your reflection not to adjust your look, but to question, what is my true aim in this life? Not for her approval, not for society's, but for your own. Here's an insight many men miss until years are lost. Women don't give their hearts to the man who lives for the crowd's cheers. They fall for the man journeying on his own mission, even if he walks without company. Marcus Aurelius said, "Stop letting your life be consumed by thoughts of other people. Focus instead on what is authentically yours." That is direction. Let's revisit Marcus, our Stoic soldier. He wasn't the most boisterous in the barracks. He wasn't constantly encircled by friends or admirers, but he was the earliest awake. He practiced his skills before dawn. He read philosophy by lamplight. He assisted others when it wouldn't be seen, not for recognition, but as part of his code. Once, a younger recruit asked him, "Why don't you come to the tavern with us? You're always working. Don't you worry about your reputation?" Marcus looked at him and replied, "I do care about my reputation, but not the one you speak of. I care about the man I am building." Now listen, that same man, with weathered hands and a calm demeanor, naturally attracted women. Not because he pursued them, but because they detected something uncommon within him. He wasn't chasing social approval. He was dedicated to his evolution. And that, my friend, is what women secretly esteem more than cash, more than cleverness, more than smooth talk. They value a man who is heading somewhere, not floating, not waiting, not looking for permission, but creating, advancing, improving. Why? Because a man with direction makes a woman feel she's participating in a meaningful narrative. Let me ask you, have you ever been with someone and felt you were stuck in a loop? Like there was no progress, no forward motion? It's exhausting, isn't it? Now reverse that. Imagine you are the man who rises with intention, who understands what he's constructing, who respects his own hours, who doesn't feel compelled to broadcast every step or justify every choice. You become uncommon. And in our world, uncommon is captivating. Here's the direct truth. If you lack a personal direction, you'll seek public distraction, and that renders you forgettable. But if you have a direction, even if you're not famous, even if you're quiet, people will sense your substance. And the right woman, she'll desire to journey with you, not because you begged her, but because your purpose invites her. So don't strive to be popular. Strive to be purposeful. And observe how your essence changes. Observe how women start perceiving you not as someone seeking endorsement, but as a man guiding meaningful life. And believe me, no sum of money can buy that kind of magnetic appeal. Next, we have honesty over appearance. This one reaches a core because in a society full of pretenses, women are thirsting for authenticity. Stay with me. This is essential. For honesty over appearance. Have you ever modified who you are to gain a woman's interest? Maybe you embellished a tale, pretended to enjoy something you dislike, or agreed with an opinion you didn't share. We've all been there, right? Because a part of us is afraid. If she witnesses the authentic me, perhaps I'll be found lacking. But let me share something most men never grasp. Women are attracted to genuineness, not a polished version. They want your unwavering, raw honesty. As Marcus Aurelius put, no longer talk about what a good man is. Be one. Let me tell you a decision, not about war or love, but about character. Marcus, our Stoic soldier, was once offered advancement, but it required a moral compromise. He would need to ignore a dishonest superior. He could have accepted the position, the pay, the prestige, and nobody would have been the wiser, except he would have known. He refused. His fellow soldiers ridiculed him. Why throw away your opportunity? No one would criticize you. Marcus responded, if I abandon my principles for a title, then I am hollow, regardless of the rank they grant. Now, here's what happened. That same night, his partner took his hands and said, do you know why my feelings for you are so strong? Because I never have to guess which version of you I will meet. You are consistent in every situation. That is the force of honesty. Because, let me be frank, you can imitate confidence. You can imitate charisma, but you cannot imitate integrity. Women detect it. They intuit when something is inconsistent, when your speech and your conduct don't align. She might remain for a time, but she won't truly trust you. And without trust, affection withers. So, let me ask you again. When you are alone, when you cut a corner, bend a rule, who do you choose to be? Because that is the man she develops feelings for. Not the impeccable one, not the refined one, but the authentic one. You don't need all the solutions. You don't need to win her over with an image of the man you assume she desires. You simply need to be real. A man who honors his promises, who admits his errors, who leaves when a situation violates his standards, no matter how appealing it seems to stay. That man, he's memorable because he's trustworthy. And women love a man they can have faith in, even when external pressures try to sway him. So quit designing your life for applause. Begin living it from a foundation of truth. Because in a world flooded with deception, a man of honesty is her foundation. And now we go to the final principle, which distinguishes authentic strength from mere display. Quiet confidence over loud performance. This will change how you move through the world. 5. Quiet confidence over loud performance. Have you ever sensed the need to demonstrate your worth? To list your accomplishments? To hint at your salary? To display your social position? Not from desire, but from a fear of being overlooked? You are not the only one. Most men have stood in that place. We exist in a culture where noise is rewarded, where the most boisterous man is frequently confused for the most capable. But Marcus Aurelius offered another perspective. He journaled, "Quietness is a skill gained from life's hardships. Quietness isn't a deficiency. Quietness is mastery. Quietness is true authority." Let me recount a moment from Marcus's life. After a hard-fought victory, Marcus stood in the strategy room with his brothers in arms. The commander invited each soldier to recount his contribution to the win. Men stepped up, each proudly detailing their heroic acts. But Marcus, he merely gave a slight nod and stayed silent. The commander looked at him and inquired, "And you, Marcus? What is your account?" Marcus replied, "The success is my reward, not the recognition." A respectful quiet fell over the room. Even the commander nodded, because Marcus didn't require applause to confirm his value. His deeds resonated more powerfully than any boast. Now, let's apply this to you. Have you ever been near someone who endlessly talked about their possessions, their connections, their exploits? It's tiresome, correct? Because when someone strives too hard to impress, you begin to question what inadequacy they're masking. Women perceive that, too. She isn't searching for a man who must persuade her of his value. She's looking for a man who understands his own worth so completely that performance is unnecessary. Because here's the reality. A truly potent man never has to prove it. He carries himself differently. He speaks with intention. And when he walks into a space, people sense his energy before he says a word. That's the kind of man who occupies a woman's thoughts. Not because he advertised himself, but because he had no need to. Marcus never boasted. He never displayed his triumphs. But every soldier looked up to him, and every woman felt the depth of his quiet confidence. Because quietness creates intrigue, and intrigue is compelling. When you stop trying to impress, you become impressive. When you cease seeking the spotlight, you become worth observing. So let the others perform. Let them fill the air with words. You focus on building, on growing, on being. Because in time, the world and the right woman will take notice. Not because you declared your presence, but because the quality of your silence spoke volumes. Now let's unite these ideas. What have we learned? Your worth isn't determined by your finances, your job title, or your social media following. Women are drawn to the rarity of character, not the noise of achievement. And the more uncommon you become in these ways, the more she will feel an attraction that transcends logic. So why do women secretly hold these 5 principles above money? Because money purchases temporary things, but these qualities construct something everlasting. Faith, profound connection, emotional sanctuary, and enduring respect. Marcus the soldier wasn't a wealthy man, but his spirit was abundant, and that's why the woman of status chose him. She recognized in him what most men fail to cultivate. And as Marcus Aurelius taught, what counts isn't the persona you show the world, but the person you are in your private moments. So let's review the 5 things women desire more than money, viewed through a Stoic lens. 1. Attentive presence over expensive presence, because emotional bonds outlive any transaction. 2. Steadiness over storm, because she needs to feel secure, not unsettled. 3. Direction over distraction, because a meaningful mission creates natural attraction. 4. Honesty over appearance, because trust is more appealing than any mask. 5. Quiet confidence over loud performance, because real strength doesn't shout, it resonates. These aren't shortcuts. They are standards. And if you live by them, not only will the right partner perceive you in a new light, but you will regard yourself with newfound respect. Because ultimately, true magnetism starts when a man becomes fully congruent with his deepest self. As Marcus wrote, "Dig within. There lies a well of strength, always ready to flow if you continue to explore." With that, thank you for watching. And until next time, please like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought for more.